Hey guys, welcome back to LTGuitarist. Today I wanted to talk about my favourite YouTube channels for music and music education. So yeah, some of them are guitar specific, some of them are about other instruments or music production or music theory. So in no real order, here we go with my top 10 YouTube channels for music education. So channel number 1 is Adam Neely. Adam Neely is this jazz bassist from New York City who regularly posts on various elements of music theory. There's some really interesting videos on his channel. For example, why 33 beats per minute is pretty much the slowest we can realistically play music, and what music elements go into a song to make it sound Christmassy. Some of his more abstract stuff is really interesting. There's also some gig vlogs where he talks about just life as a professional musician and looks at some of the interesting jobs he gets to do. So first choice, Adam Neely. Number 2 is Loudon Stearns. Loudon Stearns is a music production tutor at Berkeley, and I first encountered him whilst doing a free music production course on Coursera. Which is a website where universities put out free short courses basically to promote their paid accredited courses. Honestly, I've gotten more out of his YouTube channel than I did out of the Coursera course, to be honest. His channel has got a load of tutorials for Ableton Live, Massive, and most interesting to me, Contact. Well worth a watch. Third choice is Stephen Taylor's drum channel, and I know you guys probably aren't subscribed to this channel for all the amazing drum tuition I put out there, but you probably do know that I place a lot of value on learning other instruments, or at least knowing how other instruments work. Stephen Taylor's drum tuition channel was and still is the place I go to learn how to play drums, or at least how drums should be played. Number 4 is Tantacrul, and I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly, but this is a London-based composer and visual artist whose videos are kind of similar to mine in that they discuss things about music that we don't always like to hear. A really great example of this is his video about Hallelujah and how to cover it badly. Other topics include the Eurovision Song Contest and why data sonification, something which I've dabbled with, doesn't work as a compositional device. Number 5 is TwelveTone. I love the presentation style of TwelveTone. Basically, it's a dude who talks through specific musical ideas, either theoretical concepts or why specific songs or chord sequences really work, but he does so with a kind of sped up, I don't know if it's improvised drawings, doodles on stave paper, accompanied by his voiceover. And I really like these videos, not just because he clearly knows his stuff and I learn a lot from them, but because they're presented in a really unique and fun way, and the way he explains stuff makes it really easy to understand as well. TwelveTone, worth a watch. Number 6, Rob Chapman. Probably one of the best known guitar channels on YouTube. I wasn't sure about including it on this list because, to be honest, if you're watching guitar stuff on YouTube, you probably already know about Rob Chapman, right? So I'm not really contributing anything by talking about Rob Chapman, but there is a reason we know who he is, and that reason is he regularly provides quality guitar lessons for free online and an insight into life as a professional guitarist. What's more is he does it in a modest way, which means that I can actually stand to watch his videos. Number 7, Vulfpeck. Okay, I know Vulfpeck, not so much an educational channel, but it is fun, and in terms of raw inspiration, this is an amazing channel. Vulfpeck are a fun, jazzy, funky band who reasonably regularly will upload really catchy, funky music videos with kind of a lo-fi vibe to the videos themselves. The really fun part is that 2 of the 4 core band members play a variety of instruments really well. So I think one of them sings, plays guitar and drums in any combination of those 3, and the other 2 are really good musicians. There's an exceptional keyboard player and a really exceptional bass player, and they bring in a handful of other musicians as guests who are all next level players as well. I listen to Vulfpeck easily every day, which for anyone that's keeping tabs is more than I listen to Whitesnake these days, and that's saying something. Number 8, Scott's Bass Lessons. Similar to Rob Chapman, Scott's Bass Lessons has some great info on playing bass guitar, mostly about technique and common pitfalls of playing the instrument. Again, I think it's important to learn other instruments, especially the bass guitar, which is super closely related to electric guitar. There's a few interviews on his channel as well. I especially enjoyed his interview with Victor Wooten, who is one of my favourite bass players, so definitely check that one out. Number 9, Rick Beato. The tagline of Rick's channel is everything music, and that's pretty accurate. There's a lot of stuff on that channel. I believe he's a music producer by trade, but has some good insights into music theory as well as songwriting and music production. There's a great video on there, a pretty recent one, about Gibson guitars and why they're about to go bankrupt. There's also a few videos about specific songs and why they work, so examining the instrumentation, the chords, and so forth. The one about Jeremy by Pearl Jam is especially insightful. I watched that the other day a couple times because it's just so good, and I suggest you do the same. Number 10, my final choice, is Reverb. Interviews, lessons for bass, guitar, drums, gear reviews. Occasionally they'll try to sell you something because I think they are a store first and foremost, but it's still useful stuff. There's also tutorials on how to get specific sounds if you want to replicate a particular song. It's a real variety of content, and my favourite video on there, one which I again will rewatch every few weeks, is their interview and studio tour with Stuart Copeland, drummer for The Police. And I never really cared for The Police, but it's a really good interview. I suggest you check that out. So there we go. Those are my top 10 favourite YouTube channels for music education and music inspiration. Certainly the ones that I've learnt from on a regular basis and continue to learn from on a regular basis, and I hope you get something from them as well. That would be really cool. If you want to subscribe to this channel, that would be amazing. I usually post guitar related videos, sometimes licks and tricks, sometimes techniques or chord theory, sometimes music tech or production, and the rest of the time it's just me complaining about stuff. So if that sounds fun, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you next week. Toodaloo.